New from the Masters of Cinema series number 284 is The Cat and the Canary. Now, I have waited a long time to see this one, often heard about it. I've seen several iterations of this story, and this was just one that I was eager to check out. And it is wonderfully hokey in its story. Something very familiar. You have this old cantankerous man who's very rich, who dies. His family have been kind of circling him like vultures waiting to pick off the scraps. And as a little bit of a tease, he makes them wait 20 years before his will can be read aloud. So we kind of jump 20 years time. We gather all the remaining family members back once more, where they're going to get to find out where the money's going to go. And when they read it out, he discovers going to a family member who everybody's a little bit surprised with. But there's a stipulation here. And the stipulation is they have to spend the night in this house and they have to be deemed sane, which leads to all kinds of funny shenanigans going on as well, because there is something very nefarious going on here. There is someone who is after this money, someone who's been playing around with some of the wills that have been left, because there is a backup will if the person who's inherited the money is deemed to be insane. There is also an escaped criminal, the cat, who has escaped a psychiatric hospital and is on the prowl as well. And then there is the mystery of hidden diamonds that vanished and have been hidden somewhere around the property. And you get a group of people put into this one scenario where there is a lot of stresses going on, and we just kind of watch the shenanigans unfold. There are lots of wonderful things that are done here with intertitles to really make them stand out, to highlight how something is being said, which I really enjoyed. It just changes things up every now and again just to make it a little bit different. I thought Laura LaPlante as Annabelle was terrific. She's the main character of the movie. She's someone who's kind of wide-eyed, innocent at the start of this one, who goes through quite a lot of stresses in this one to ultimately come out on the better side of it, hopefully at the end of it. But it's all the supporting actors and the little relatives and the little sly digs and the looks and the kind of nature of building up these red herrings as who's really behind all this? Who's going to inherit the money? That just becomes incredibly fun. And it is a horror movie. It kind of ekes into that aesthetic, the sharp pointed house on top of a hill, all these rooms, the kind of large expansive areas within it, the playing with shadows that happens many times throughout the film. There are lots of things that really build the mood. If you can sit down and watch this, put the lights out and let it just engulf you with that wonderful score, with the playfulness within the sequences, the shadows, the lights, the monsters that are kind of there, the looks and nods that all the supporting characters have, it really does build this atmosphere of tension and scare. There's a little bit of dread going on here. You know that something bad could happen to one or more of the characters, which creates a wonderful segment of just terror and suspense and just wariness for some of the characters. I had waited a long time to see The Cat and the Canary, and it was wonderful that it lived up to my expectations. Even though I knew the story, I knew roughly the beats of where it was going to go, the reveals, it didn't rob me of any of the surprises of sitting down and watching this wonderful production. To the magnificent actors, to the way the camera roamed around the set, which was really fantastic. There's many sequences where it just has this unnerving manner of moving about this almost abandoned house, which is incredibly atmospheric. It just does everything really well and creates an atmosphere of its own. Wonderful movie, The Cat and the Canary. So glad I got to see it. It's nice to see the Masters of Cinema releasing another classic silent film. And of course, There's some good extras on this disc as well. So let's dive in and have a look. Here we are in the disc for The Cat and the Canary. First up we have the film with the score by Robert Israel. Then we have an audio commentary with Kim Newman and Stephen Jones. A second commentary with Kevin Lyons and Jonathan Rugby. Mysteries Mean Dark Corners. This is a visual essay with David Cairns and Fiona Watson, talking about the history of the old dark house story through plays, through movies, various adaptations, various iterations. It's wonderful, gives you a wealth of knowledge building up to and beyond The Cat and the Canary. Next we have an interview with Pamela Hutchinson, which is 13 minutes 4 seconds, who clearly loves the film. She's talking about the aspects of how it really capitalised on the horror and with the comedy. Talking about Paul Leni and how his history and got into filmmaking, ultimately up to making this film. Then we have Fong Lee interview, and she's talking a lot more about the filmmaking techniques used throughout the film, from the way it shows various angles, how it creates these wonderful frames, the techniques used. It's very insightful. Then we have A Very Eccentric Man. This and Yet a Cat are excerpts from the play itself, with some images of the movie overlaid, and it's quite interesting. Then we have Lucky Strike, which is a 53-second advert for cigarettes with Paul Leni, which is just a fun little addition. And that's the extras for The Cat and the Canary. There we have it, The Cat and the Canary. I would highly recommend picking this up if you're into silent cinema at all, if you're into horror cinema whatsoever, and you want to see a classic of that. Look no further. This is one that you need to pick up. I would love to know your opinion. Did you love it like me? Did you hate it? Did you fall somewhere in the middle? I want to know your opinion and if you're picking this one up. So let me know in the comment box below. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com. Always where you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.